Today, we're going to be checking out the Musicman Sabre guitar with the roasted flame maple neck. This guitar is gorgeous, as you can see from this beautiful flame maple top in blue moonstone. Now, something else worth mentioning is they're using a polyester finish, which is very hard and very clear, and it lets the colors just pop, and that's why this top looks so good. Taking a look at the binding, you'll see that they just left it natural. You can see the flame top goes all the way down and it is gorgeous. They're also using a Musicman designed bridge, which I love because it feels nice on the side of your hand. It's nice and smooth, nothing is poking you. And I also like that it's against the body. The tremolo is not floating. Something else cool to point out is it has an arched top. So that's why they're saying it's a 1/2-inch maple cap, because in the center it's the thickest. They're using a volume and tone control with a 5-way selector switch. In the first position, it's going to give you a full humbucker, but in position 2, it's going to give you the 2 outer coils, so 2 single coils, so it'll sound more like a Telecaster. Middle position is going to give you 2 full humbuckers. The 4th position is going to give you the 2 inner coils. That will give you the closest sound to that Strat position 4 where you're using the neck in the middle. And then, of course, on position 5, you're getting the full humbucker again. And this is a little different. They're using Musicman custom wound pickups, and we'll check them out in the Geeky Stuff and in the sound samples. It has an ebony fretboard with 22 beautifully detailed stainless steel medium jumbo frets. And you'll notice they're not rolling the fretboard edge. It looks sharper than it is. It feels pretty nice, but if you like really rolled over fretboards, you'll feel a little bit of the corner of this. Now the nut is a Musicman melamine nut, and melamine is a plastic. It's a hard plastic, but you can see this is a compensated nut. As you can see, that helps with the intonation. As you can see, little cuts into the nut to make it basically have different scale lengths, even though they're very micro. Now, when you look at the back of this neck, it is just breathtaking how beautiful the flame maple on this neck is. And of course, roasting it really makes all the color in this thing pop. The neck feels like natural wood to the touch, as they're only using gun stock oil and some wax to coat it. As I've often said on this channel, not one sample is all reviews. In other words, you can't just take one guitar and say this is what they're all going to be like. This is an actual picture of another Sabre exactly like this one, but look at the difference in the neck on this one, or the headstock on this one compared to the headstock on the one I'm reviewing today. So obviously there's going to be a lot of variance, and you just want to keep that in mind. Looking at the back of the body, it looks like it's black, but it's actually translucent blue, and if you look really hard, you can see the grain of the Akume body they're using. Now, of course, using quality locking keys. They're actually using Schallers, which are some of my favorite. It also includes the Musicman case that's very robust, one of the most overbuilt cases I've seen in the market. Scale length, we have 25.5-inch scale length with a 10-inch radius fretboard. It's not compound radius. I checked both the 12th fret and the 1st fret just to see what's going on, and both were giving me a perfect 10-inch radius. All right, let's get into the geeky stuff. Let's start with their pickups. There's not a lot of information about their pickups, but here's what I can tell you. The bridge pickup is an Alnico 5 magnet, and the neck pickup is a ceramic 6 magnet. Now, when testing the bridge pickup, I got 17.5K, which means there's a lot of wire on this pickup. It's at 375 milliamps, and it's definitely heavy on the bass and mids. Now, the neck pickup also has a lot of wire for a neck pickup at 11.90K. It's at 275 milliamps, and again, it's EQ'd a little bit more in the bass and the mids. So what does that mean? Well, it means these pickups aren't vintage voiced. It means they're going for something more aggressive. I would think of something like a Tone Zone bridge and a Rainmaker in the neck, if you're familiar with those pickups from DiMarzio. Now, looking into the cavity, we see 2 500K potentiometers. You have a volume and a tone control. The tone control has a 0.22 microfarad capacitor, which is standard for any kind of humbucker guitar. But it's integrated into this PC board, and this is real common with a lot of the USA made guitars now. We're seeing more and more just drop-in ready PC board ready stuff. I get why, faster manufacturing process and consistency, but I still don't love the idea. You have a 5-way super switch, which explains all the combinations they're able to do. Now, what you'll notice is there's a piece of foil at the bottom for shielding insulation. There's also a graphite resin coating. Now, this is important. I've seen this more and more with US manufacturers where they're painting the cavities with shielding, conductive shielding paint, and then sending it to paint. So sometimes you can't see or test the shielding they've done because it's under the, like in this case, the polyester finish. And so I think that's maybe what's going on here. They've done that, and it's underneath the actual polyester. Now, checking out the neck in detail, I'm going to tell you that the frets were perfectly leveled and crowned, and the neck had the smallest amount of relief in it. There's no buzzing, and the action is 1.25 millimeters off the 12th fret, which is super low, and I have a feeling it's going to play like a dream. So we know the frets are level. How well did they do the fret ends? Let's do the sock test, and you're not going to believe this. It literally feels like nothing. It's super smooth. I'm going to do it again. That's crazy. It's definitely a 5 out of 5. There's not a single mark on this at all. Let's do the bass side. And again, it's fantastic. It feels like nothing. I actually get to reuse this sock for the next test. That definitely does not happen very often. Now, looking at the nut, we can see it's at 1 11/16 or 42.9 millimeters. Even though the neck is kind of small, that nut width is really nice, and the spacing feels pretty good for both small and larger hands. And the thickness at the first fret is 18.84 millimeters, which is very thin. In fact, anything under 19 millimeters is going to be a super thin neck. Now, when measuring the 12th fret, we got 22.36 millimeters, which is about 7/8 of an inch. What's interesting about that is that's pretty normal. It has a pretty extreme taper. It gets from really thin to more normalized as it goes up. Now that we talked measurements, let's look at the neck shape, and it's tiny. Looking at this 1992 Fender Strat neck profile, you can see how much smaller this is. In fact, if you've ever played any of the Musicman John Petrucci necks, it definitely feels reminiscent like that. It's a very tiny neck when it comes to the first fret. However, like I said, when you get to the 12th fret, it normalizes out a little bit. Notice how the gap isn't so dramatic. And I know a lot of you really like the 60s era neck profiles of Fender Strats, which I do as well. So let's take a look at that. Again, you can see very small on the first fret compared to a 60s neck, but again, at the 12th fret, more normalized. So this is definitely a neck that if you like when it's real small around the first to fifth fret, and then it gets more normal as it goes up to the 12th fret, I think you'll love this neck. Now, we definitely have to test how well it stays in tune. Let's go ahead and do that. That's really good. For a basic tremolo system that's competing with like a Stratocaster, I have to say I was pleasantly pleased on how well it stayed in tune. Obviously, Musicman's known for great quality, but I have to say, if you're looking for your basic tremolo system, this is going to far exceed that. This guitar is made in California, and of course, with all the quality you're seeing and the fact that it's built in the US, it has a pretty expensive price tag of $3,400 US. However, on the used market, they range from about $2,400 to $2,800, which is 20 to 30% off of new. So buying used can save you anywhere from $600 to $1,000. Or if you're curious about other guitars made in the same state as the Musicman, the Sir Modern is about $3,500 and the Kiesel Theos is about $3,100 if you go in and spec out everything just like this Musicman you see in this video. Something else to look for is the weight of this guitar. This one was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, but I've seen them as low as 7 pounds and as high as just over 8 pounds. So there is a pretty decent variation in weight. So now that we've looked at the guitar in detail, let's go ahead and check out how it sounds. I'm running it through a Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb with an SM57 mic, and let's start with just some clean sounds. Check out the chords, start with the neck position, and we'll see where that takes us. Here we go. It's really balanced out. I can see why they went with a pickup that has a little bit more lows and mids. You know, you got a roasted maple neck with an ebony fretboard with stainless steel frets. It's basically it's going to be a bright guitar, let's face it. There's a lot of stuff happening that makes this guitar very bright, and I think the pickup has a warmth to it, gives the guitar an overall clarity. Fantastic. What I like about it is when you play chords, they're full sounding, but also very articulate. And when I play notes, they don't sound very thin. Position 4 is going to be the 2 inner coils simulating, probably, like I said, they're going after that stratty 4th position sound as much as they can with 2 humbuckers. Definitely nails that. The middle position is your 2 humbuckers. I'm gonna play that same riff. doesn't feel the same. It doesn't make me want to kind of hit it so hard and so kind of spanky. Definitely feels more deliberate, and that's one thing I like about it. Definitely would feel more at home for just playing. Okay, position 2, you're going to have the 2 outer coils. That's going to be the farthest coils from each other. Now we go to the bridge. Let's try that. Funny that I was guessing that it kind of sounds like a tone zone. To me, it sounds in the room, sounds kind of like a tone zone. If you're not familiar with that pickup, when DiMarzio worked with Music Man and Eddie Van Halen to make the Eddie Van Halen Music Man guitar, which is now the Access, they developed a set of DiMarzio pickups for it that are still in the Access to this day. And when Eddie picked the bridge, he finally got it down to 2 pickups, and he picked one, obviously, that's what's in the Access to this day, but the one that he didn't pick ended up becoming the Tone Zone, which is slightly bassier, slightly warmer sounding version of that pickup. And listening to it, it definitely kind of harkens to that pickup sound that I like. I mean, for a guitar to have this beautiful of a tone in a bridge setting is really, really, really cool. Okay, so I've kicked on my BE overdrive pedal. Nice. Let's go to that position 2. Okay, middle position. Okay, position 4 is again kind of simulating that Strat neck position 4 on a Strat. Position 5. Well, as you guys know, I've prided myself for many years of being very detailed when I do my reviews of guitars and going through them very extensively. And I have to say, this guitar holds up. Everything that they did makes a lot of sense. What I hope to see is that they make a sterling version of this. I think this guitar would be very impressive in a lower price range. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to spend anything close to the cost of this guitar to get a quality guitar, as you've seen in many of the videos I've done. But what's refreshing about this guitar is a lot of the time when you see an expensive guitar, it's based in some kind of nostalgia. They brought back something old, or they made it limited. To me, this is what it should be about, making a guitar as perfect as you can get it. Now, as always, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out to the end of the video and supporting the channel. Until the next time, know your gear.